Hi bears, how are you all doing? We're missing you so much at school. I hope you're reviewing your sheets and going through the links that we have sent you. Phonics, numbers, goodbye song, hello song, the farm theme song, and I thought I'm going to send you another video of our book of the day, which is Caps for Sale. Who remembers this book, Caps for Sale? All right. Once there was a peddler who sold caps. Look, so many caps. But he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. Look, he's carrying so many caps on his head. First, he had on his own checkered cap. This one is the checkered cap. Then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, and then a bunch of blue caps. And lastly, there were a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight, so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps for sale, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said, and he walked out of town, slowly, so as not to upset the caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. He's feeling the caps if they are straight. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there. So he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hands to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. Oh no, he lost his caps. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked at the back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree. He looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. Look, so many monkeys. What do you think the monkeys did? They took all the caps from the peddler's head and they wore it themselves. Look, they're wearing the gray hat, the blue hat, the orange hat, the brown hat, and the red hat. And the peddler has no hat except for his own. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The peddler looked at the monkeys, and the monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You, monkeys, you," he said, shaking his finger at them. "You give me back my caps." What do you think the monkeys did? Can the monkeys talk? Let's find out. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, 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 tsk," because they cannot talk. This made the peddler angry. So he shook both his hands at them and said, "You, monkey, you, give me back my caps." What do you think the monkeys did? But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, 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 tsk," because they cannot talk. Now he felt quite angry. He was so upset and angry. He stamped his foot and said, "You, monkeys, you better give me back my caps." What do you think the monkeys did? But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, that's what they did. By this time, the peddler was really very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you monkeys, you! You must give me back my caps." And what did the monkeys do? They did the same. But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, they cannot talk. Oh, at last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground and began to walk away. He took his own cap and he threw it on the ground and then he just started to walk away. What do you think the monkeys did? But then each monkey pulled off his cap and all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree, because monkeys also did what the peddler did. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his very own checked cap, then the gray cap, then the brown cap, then the blue cap, and then the red cap on the very top. And slowly he walked back to town calling, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." And that's it.